Right now, everyone is struggling from the coronavirus, and a lot of people don't have the resources to last very long. So, during these desperate times, the government is giving $2,000 to people in Canada who have lost their income due to the pandemic. It's called the Canada Emergency Response Benefit, or CERB, and it's basically free money for people who qualify. If you haven't gotten your free money yet, I've left a link in the description below for those who haven't registered for it yet. So you're going to receive $2,000 or have already. What should we do with it exactly? I'm going to let you know 5 essential steps that you should consider. But before you spend it all, remember to smash the like button and subscribe to my channel. Let me know in the comments below what you're doing with $2,000. Step 0 is mentality, because this step doesn't need money, but recognize that this is going to be tough times and you might not have income for a while. So to make things work out as best as possible, you will have to dramatically reduce your spending throughout this entire pandemic. If you're buying the latest hit games like Animal Crossing, but don't know how you're going to survive on zero income for the next 6 months, I would really consider pressing the pause button on that kind of spending. Especially if you don't have the money but qualify for the CERB, I wouldn't even think about buying stuff that you don't need. For the first step, I would stock up on the essentials like long-lasting food, paper towel, toilet paper, and soap. I know right now all the disinfectant products like Lysol are already out of stock from stores, but an alternative is water and bleach. A combination of 99% warm water and 1% bleach put in a spray bottle also works to disinfect surfaces just as effectively, and it's much cheaper to do this too. I put a link in the description if you want to read more about it. So once you have the essentials in place, the next thing I would do is keep an emergency fund of cash in my bank account. This is money that I would keep safe for more essentials that you need to buy after you're depleted. I would think about always having no less than $1,000 in cash readily available at all times. Right now, the basic human necessity of food, water, and protection from infection is more important than anything else, so you want to have money to keep buying these things over time. Next, I would pay for the second level of essentials like home internet and utilities. Nowadays, most things we do at home, like work and Netflix, need the internet. And you'll need utilities like electricity and water to take care of yourself while you're always at home. It's much easier for the internet and utility companies to pull the plug on you if you don't pay them. So I would prioritize paying those instead of paying for mortgages or rent or anything else. Evictions for missing rent will be tough because small court judges will most likely side with the tenant during these tough times, and just the process of kicking tenants out is extremely tough for landlords. In terms of mortgage payments, a lot of banks are allowing deferred payments to give relief to homeowners, and even though the interest on the debt will grow from deferring, it's not the end of the world because mortgage rates are super low anyways. Next, I would think about reducing any debts I owe, especially the ones with high interest rates. This includes credit cards, lines of credit, and student loans. Usually a lot of people want to use money for investing, but investment gains aren't guaranteed. On the other hand, if you pay off your debt, you'll pay less interest on your debt the more you pay it down, and that's 100% guaranteed. Not losing your money to interest payments is the same as gaining money from interest. For instance, if you have a $1,000 balance on your credit card and it has a 20% interest rate, then you would owe $200 in interest after a whole year, meaning in total, you will owe $1,200, then that becomes the new balance. If you got $1,000 in cash suddenly and you decide to use it to pay your balance, you would still owe $200. But what if, in the beginning right now, you got the $1,000 in cash? Then you can use it to quickly pay off your credit card. Then that means you have a $0 balance to owe. You avoid any interest payment and make you $200 richer. Let's also compare this to taking the $1,000 to invest and it grows by 8%. Then your investment grows to $1,080 after a year, but you still owe $1,200 from the credit card, which means when you combine both your investment and credit card balance, you still owe $120. In terms of the best use of your $1,000 cash, you had the choice to pay off your debt versus to invest. Instantly paying off your credit card made you $200 richer, while trying to make investments made you still owe $120. So your real return on investment using $1,000 in cash is 20% with paying down debt versus negative 12% with investing. So you can pretty much say that when you have the choice to reduce high interest rate debt versus taking a chance on investing, the clear winner is reducing debt. Of course, you're better off not building that credit card balance in the first place with non-essential purchases. I know that I mentioned student loans even though the federal government is suspending loans for the next 6 months. Although the strategic move would be to save the money and wait until the 6 months are over to reduce the student loan debt, most people don't have the tenacity to hold thousands of dollars without having to spend it on something expensive and non-essential. So it makes sense to pay down student loans whenever you can and prioritize on getting rid of it by making extra payments. It's more of a mental weight lifted off your shoulders once you can pay it all off. The final step is your home situation. This step is optional, but it can be a real deal breaker in terms of money. The biggest outflow of money for people in Canada is their rent or mortgage. Without job income to pay for either, or if the $2,000 from the CERB isn't enough, people are going to start missing payments. An uncomfortable but effective strategy would be to start living with other people. So if you're currently renting a place, it could be a huge financial benefit to stop renting and move back in with your parents. But if that's not an option, you can move in with a friend to share the rent, or accept a friend into your rental home to help split the cost. If you own a home and can't handle the mortgage payments, you can think about selling your home to move in with your parents or friends. You can downsize your home, which means you can buy a smaller and cheaper home so you have money to live on. You can accept friends to live with you to help split the cost, or my least favorite move is to sell your home and start renting. Remember that all of this is optional, but the whole point of this final step is that when you start combining resources and the $2,000 emergency benefits, then together you will have more money saved to make it out of this pandemic. So that's about it for the 5 essential steps. After considering these steps, I would finally make those rent or mortgage payments, as well as anything else that's essential. I mean, your landlord needs you to pay rent so that they can pay their mortgage. And then the banks are depending on the mortgage payments so that they can pay out their dividends to their shareholders. And shareholders are depending on the dividends so that they have income. But once the essential steps are covered and all your bills are paid, only then would I consider money for luxuries like 3-ply toilet paper or even investing. So if you enjoyed this video or learned something new, remember to smash the like button and subscribe to my channel. If you can, share this video with someone who lives in Canada. You never know who might really benefit from this kind of information. If you ever need to refer to any of the information in this video, it's all in the description.